Does the mic work? Hi, this is Jeniah Wilde with Century 21 Power Realty. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to answer two important questions. Firstly, how quickly is your house going to sell? Second, how much more can you get this year than you could last year? Let's start with days on market. So average days on market right now is 24 days, less than a month of inventory. That is the period in which you list your home to when it is sold, firm sale. And a firm sale means all conditions are removed. So keep in mind during that 24 days, in a lot of cases, you do have a 10, perhaps 12-day condition period. In some transactions, the average days on the market's actually only 10 or 12 days, and then there's the condition period. So it's selling within days of it actually hitting the market. That's why it's extremely important that you're prepared prior to getting your house on the market, because it can happen extremely quickly. I did a video on this and you can check that out down below. The second question that everybody has, maybe arguably the first, is how much money am I gonna get for my home? People wonder and ask me all the time, how much more am I going to get for my home this year compared to last year? Is the market busier this year? Has it gone up? The answer is yes, the market has gone up. Let's just go back to April 2021, where the average home price was $593. It jumped significantly to $669 in 2022, and this year, in April of 2023, the average home price was $729. So we have seen incremental growth year over year for the past few years. I've done videos in the past on how you can maximize the amount of money that you get when you're listing your home. All of the links are down below. But by far the most important, you want to stand out. You want to have as many offers as possible, because the more offers that come in, the more of that competitive environment you create, the higher the price will be at the end. Now let's talk about supply. Right now we have 34% less inventory on the market than we did at this time last year. So the main reason that we're seeing an increase in price this year is because of the low inventory. And there's a lot of contributing factors to low inventory. In my opinion, the main reason is obviously high interest rates. Many people are choosing not to move because they've locked into a mortgage at a lower interest rate. And if they move, that means that they need to take on a higher interest rate. Many people are choosing not to move because they can't find the home that they're looking for, because there's not a lot of options out there. And this is really putting people in a position where they're just deciding to stay put and not put their house on the market. Now that I've updated you a little bit on the current state of the market, let's talk about what that looks like for you. Chances are, whether you're a buyer or a seller, you will get into a multiple offer situation. So you want to make sure you're working with a realtor that can guide you through the process. There's a lot of things to consider on both sides as a buyer and a seller when you're entering into this type of an environment where you're going to have to be making decisions very quickly. In a market like this, there's two approaches that you can take when you're listing your house. One approach is what a lot of people tend to gravitate towards because it results in a higher list price. This isn't always the best approach, but in this market, it's okay to start with a higher list price and see what kind of traction you get, and then reduce if necessary. A lot of people prefer this approach because then they feel like they're not leaving money on the table. I really try and explain to my clients that real estate is a supply and demand market. When it's a seller's market, your house is going to sell for what it's worth. The market will tell you how much your home is worth. And that's why the second approach is to go in relatively aggressive at market or even below market value so that you can drive that traffic through the home. And that means prospective buyers maybe can't get in to view it because all of the times are booked, or when they do, there's buyers coming out and other buyers going in and buyers waiting outside to see it. You're really creating that sense of urgency among the buyers. And this creates an environment that shows buyers that, number one, there's a demand for your home because there's a lot of traffic and they can see that. And number two, they're going to be competing against other buyers. And this always drives the offer prices higher. It's hard for me to recommend just a one-size-fits-all on this video for everyone without having met you and knowing a little bit more about your circumstance and seeing your home. I can't really help you create a personal strategy. Again, I wanted to touch on pocket listings. I discussed this in my last video, but it's extremely important and a lot of people overlook the relationships and networks that realtors have amongst each other and with their clientele. There's a lot of active buyers just sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect property to come on the market. I may have buyers myself that are actively looking. An off-market or pocket listing could be an approach that you can take to find a buyer without actually listing your house. Whether you're thinking of selling your home immediately, 6 months from now, a year from now, it doesn't matter. It's always good to connect with a realtor. You can call me at the number anytime below and we can talk about your next steps.
Watch my next videos here.
And watch my next videos here. I always feel so doing that.
It's blooper reels.
I know, don't do it. Okay, ready?
Yeah.